Our country faced staggering uncertainty even before they killed George Floyd. Our parishes faced staggering uncertainty even before the bishop unjustly prohibited me from exercising the pastoral ministry. They called the economic situation a perfect storm, even before the protesters risked spreading the virus all over again. After all, the city of Philadelphia fell prey to the ravages of the Spanish flu in 1918 because of a public demonstration in favor of the U.S. entering World War I. Will we ever have our normal lives again? How can we possibly deal with all this? Where can we find the resources to cope? In him were found all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge. Colossians chapter 2, verse 3. He remains with us. On our altars, Jesus Christ, crucified, risen from the dead, exalted in heaven. He lives with us in the blessed sacrament of the altar. He has the resources. He wills to share his resources with us. Some dear members of our parishes have returned to Sunday Mass. They get hot under their masks. Someone ushers them in and out of church like visitors to a medium security prison. They pray in our pews on our behalf, like the first Israelites to return to the Temple Mount in Jerusalem after the Babylonian captivity. Meanwhile, the rest of us have something in common. Christian solitude. When the coronavirus ordeal began, even before we learned how to live stream a Mass, I mentioned how challenging it is to celebrate Mass by yourself. Having to do this back in mid-March confronted me with the embarrassing truth. I had become spiritually lazy. Saying Mass by myself required me to use spiritual muscles that I had not exercised in a long time. To believe in the real presence without any other human beings around to help me believe in it. In March, I had no idea what the good Lord had in mind, namely, to train me to run a marathon with these very spiritual muscles. Now, I run that marathon right alongside you, dear isolated companion. That is the majority of you for whom the barriers to returning to Mass still remain too high. Me celebrating Mass by myself, while substitutes take my rightful place at the parish Masses, you longing for communion in Christian solitude at home. Together, we find ourselves running a long, hard marathon in the hot sun, a marathon of faith in things unseen, without the usual company around us to help us believe. But it is precisely that marathon of faith which we most desperately need to run, because faith alone gives us the resource, the gift from heaven that sustains us through thick and thin. Jesus Christ, Son of God, Son of Mary, the Savior of the world, who unites himself with the human race through every Holy Mass celebrated validly by a Catholic priest. How much will it break my heart greeting my people at the edge of the parish property on Corpus Christi Sunday, instead of kneeling in front of the host and the monstrance on the altar, lifting the smoking thurible on behalf of the whole parish? How much will it crush me that we won't have a Corpus Christi procession, followed by hamburgers, hot dogs, Mexican dances? I won't try to explain how much it hurts. And let's remember that this ordeal will pass. We will have our normal lives again someday. But as we run this long, hot marathon of solitude, we remember this: all the normal parish stuff, it's all an image of something greater anyway. A Mass on earth gives us an image of the unending Mass in heaven. We process with the monstrance on Corpus Christi to symbolize that our whole earthly life involves a pilgrimage to somewhere else. Christian solitude poses immense spiritual challenges. But fundamentally, such solitude comes from heaven as a gift, because someday many layers of dirt will cover my grave. And yours too. Your grave too. Jesus Christ, and only Jesus Christ, can give us the resources to deal with that inevitable fact. And right here, right now, no matter what the circumstances, fears, anxieties, sufferings we have, right here, right now, let's believe in him, the Word made flesh for us, who abides on earth in the blessed sacrament of the altar.